Hey guys, this is the second part to the theme switcher. In this part, we're going to be adding the mega menu, but before we get onto that, I wanted to fix one of the little bugs with this, because as we have it set up currently, it switches back between the mode on every render, or on every switch. So we're going to go ahead and do that. In order to fix that, we just move this else statement here, and we put it into its own use effect, so it only renders with the mode, and we remove that dependency and remove the else statement here. And then that should be fixed. So it was a little dumb mistake by me. I apologize. Alright, let's go ahead and get into creating the navbar. So, components, I'm going to create a new folder. I'll call it header. Name this navbar.tsx. And an RFC. Make this a use client. Then we're going to go into the layout and go ahead and import it. And it's going to go right underneath the provider here. Then I'll move this so it's side by side. Alright, cool. We're going to go into the navbar here. Alright, we're going to import a couple things here. We're going to import path name. And then we're going to set up a use state here. Call it is scrolled and set is scrolled. That's going to default to false. And we're going to be making that just so when you scroll, you get this border here, or the shadow. Alright, start with the basic styling. We're going to turn this into a header. We're going to give it a class name, fixed, top 0, Z50 with full, border accent, BG background, backdrop blur. I do backdrop supports, backdrop filter. It's going to be BG background, and then it's going to be the background transparent, which is something we set up in the global CSS earlier. We'll do a transition of all and px of 3. Then we're going to go ahead and make a new div here. This one's going to be a class of container, flex, height of 14, max width screen 2XL, item center, justify between, and mx of auto. Now inside this div, we're going to have, I'm going to put a note here for the mobile nav, or mobile sidebar. And then we're going to have a mobile nav component here, which we haven't made yet. We're going to go and make that real quick. This just separates it a little bit, makes it a little bit cleaner. This will also be a use client. We're not actually going to do anything on this yet. We're just going to, the only thing I'm going to do here is import menu from Lucid React and give a class name of height 8 width 8. And actually we're going to have MD hidden, otherwise it'll be a block. And then we're going to go ahead and import that. So now this should show up on mobile, but on full screen it won't. Alright, let's continue. So we go another div here. This will be of class hidden, MD flex, item center, gap x10. And then inside here, we're gonna have the logo, which I'm just gonna write logo. It's gonna be a placeholder. You can feel free to fill that up with whatever you want. should be linked to the slash, and then we'll do class name, relative, item center, gap x3, flex, font bold, text muted, hover, text accent, text 3XL, transition, and an ease in and out, and this will just say logo. Now right below this, or right below this link, we're gonna have a nav. It's gonna be of class name flex, item center, gap 3, and that's it. Now, we're gonna set the hook or the use effect for adding the border when you scroll. So I'm gonna go use effect here. Make sure to import that. And we're gonna create a function, handle scroll, which is gonna be an arrow function. And if type of window does not equal undefined, and then inside of this you do another if window.scroll y is greater than or equal to 20, we'll set is scrolled to be true, else set is scrolled false. And then below these angle brackets here, we'll do window.add event listener, which will be scroll, and it'll be handle scroll. And again, at the bottom, you always want to return to clean up the function. So we'll do window.remove event listener, which will be scroll and handle scroll, and it'll just be an empty dependency array. And then inside this header here, I'm going to copy all this, Control X, import the cn function that we made, add this, and then we'll do a comma after. I'll go to the next line. It'll be if it is scrolled, then we'll add, then we'll add a shadow small and shadow of color accent. Inside of these links here, we're going to map over links, which we're going to have to create. So inside the source directory, I'm going to create a folder called constants, and we'll call this navlinks.ts. And here, it's going to be a lot of copy and paste, but for now, let's go ahead and define the types. So we're going to create a sublinks. Actually, before that, let's create the export type links, which is going to be label, string, href, string, nav image, which is optional. It'll be a string, caption, string, and then sublinks, which is optional, and it'll be of type sublinks, which we're going to go up here and define, which will be header, which is going to be optional. Everything on this is going to be optional, just because I just wanted to make it map over one thing. You can clean it up better if you prefer, but yeah, we'll do label string, href string, and then this will be an array of objects, and then sub images, which would be also optional. It'll be a label string, href string, and image string, and then it'll be an array again. So we'll have these types, and then we'll go ahead and go export const links, which will be of type links, and there'll be an array, and then we'll do equals array, put an object here, and we'll start with label. We'll do men, which will be href of slash mens. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and do nav image here. Should be slash men snowboarding.jpg, which all of the images will be in this public folder here, and you can go ahead and take it from my GitHub if you want to use the same images. If not, use whatever you want. Go ahead and close that. Then I'll do caption here. Call it meant snowboarding. Do sublinks here, which would be an array, and we'll give this a header. That'd be snowboarding, and then this will take submenu, which would be another array. Object here, open brackets, I mean. And I'm gonna keep the href just a slash because I'm not gonna create all these routes. I'll create the basic top level links, but that's it. And then I'm just gonna take this, copy and paste down, 2, 3, 4, and I'll change this one to snowboard bindings. This is gonna be snowboard. The first one's gonna be snowboards, not snowboard. So snowboard bindings, and then snowboard boots, and then the fourth one will be gear and accessories. And save so it formats for me. And why is this? Oh, I forgot to add an array. For this type, there needs to be an array. And then below this, I'm going to take this whole section, close it up so it's cleaner, or easier to copy and paste, and then just Alt-Shift down, make the same thing, but this one's going to be clothing, hoodies, this will be jackets, this one will be sweatshirts, and then we'll do t-shirts here. Copy and paste down one more, and this one will be snow pants. Then I'm going to do the same thing with here. I'm going to close this up, copy and paste down again, and then this one will just be accessories. Which will be gloves, hats and beanies, socks, helmets, and goggles. Now, close this up again. Now I'm going to take this whole section here, and I'm just going to, from the first bracket, and I'm just going to copy and paste this down. And this one's just going to change from men to women's, or women. The href will be women's. This will be called women's snowboarding. I believe that's what I named it. Yes, women's snowboarding. And then the caption will be women's. And because these are literally exactly the same, just for simplicity, we're just going to do the same thing again, one more time, copy and paste down. This one will be kids, or kid, yeah, kids. And then this is kids snowboarding. Same with this. And then the last part here is going to be a little bit different. So we'll go ahead and go down here, and we'll do open brackets, label, label, resorts, href to resorts, / resorts. And then we're going to call this one, it's still going to be sublinks actually, but inside this array, open another set of brackets, and instead of header, we're going to do sub images, because it's just going to be an array of images that we're going to use for this. So open an array, bracket, label, call this Bear Mountain, href, which again, just going to use a slash for this, and then our image is going to be, I believe it's Bear Mountain, yeah, Bear Mountain.jpg, typo there. Now I'll copy this down, 1, 2, 3, so we have 4. The second one's going to be Lions Peak. Oops. And this one is named Lions Peak. And the third one's going to be Copper Mountain. It's going to be that. And then the last one is just Fallen Valley. And then right below this, we'll have a normal. No sub images, nothing like that. We'll just do about and href about, or slash about. Alright. So we're going to go back to our navbar here. Open brackets. And we're going to map over our links that we just made. So we're going to do links, import that from our constants and nav links. And we'll map be link index with a div, and we'll just give a key of link.label. We're gonna clean this up at the end, so it won't, because it's gonna look like a little bit of a mess at first, but we'll separate it out. So we'll do block group here. Then inside this, we'll do another link. This will be href link.href. Close it up. We'll give a class name. We'll give a class name, and inside here we'll open brackets, have the cn function, which will be text muted, flex, item center, gap x 0.5, group hover, be a text of accent, transition all, px3, py1, rounded md, hover bg secondary, and then we'll have a comma here, and we'll do if the path name is equal to link.href, then it'll be text accent, font semi-bold, and bg secondary. And then if, actually we haven't created that yet, we'll do that in a second. We're gonna hit save just so it formats, and then inside the link, we'll do link.label. Now right below this, we're gonna do link, right below this, open another brackets, and we'll do link.sublinks. And if link.sublinks is not empty, we're gonna have a chevron, which we're gonna import import from Lucid React, and this will be not one click. This will be class name, which is again brackets cn function. We'll do width 5, height 5, transition all. This will have a group hover, maybe a text accent, and then we'll do, still haven't created that, I keep trying to put that. We'll do that really soon. So anyways, go ahead and hit save on this. So now it'll look like this. So right below this, still inside the nav, we're going to create another div. And this div is going to get a class name. Again, brackets, cn function. This is why we created the cn function earlier. It just makes adding optional classes so much easier. So we do absolute top of 14 because our header is 14, size of 14. Left 0, p, we'll do a padding of 8 with full bg background. Transition all, ease in out. And we're not going to add the other stuff yet. So inside of this div, we're going to do another div. And this is going to be class name grid. Grid cols 4. Max width, do 1560 pixels. I put it in brackets. MX of auto. And a gap of 6. Now we're going to go ahead and add some of the logic for the hovering so it shows the sublinks. I'm also going to change this theme to dark color because it's blinding me. Okay. So right below is scrolled. We're going to create another use state here, and it's going to be hovering, set hovering. It's going to be use state. And this is going to be a type of number, bracket, or not bracket, pipe, or null. And it's going to default as null, so it's not going to be hovered. And then we're going to create a ref here. I'm going to call it subref. Import use ref from React. And then we're going to do as React. Actually, this got it right. Mutatable ref object HTML with an angle bracket of HTML div element. And then we're going to go ahead and take this ref and we're going to put it inside of this div here, right below the mapping function. Okay. So now we're going to create our hovering function here. We're going to do function handle mouse enter. And this is going to take an index, which is going to be a type number. And then inside this, we're going to do if links with a key of index dot sublinks. So if this exists, we'll set hovering to the index. Spelled that wrong. To the index. Else, open another bracket here. We'll set hovering to null. So now we're going to add on mouse enter here to our div below the mapped over links. So we'll do on mouse enter. It'll be handle mouse enter. And this will take in the index. So this will be true. And then right below this, or inside of this div here, we're going to make angle brackets. So if it's hovering, if hovering does not equal null, and we'll do double and links with a key of, we're going to key into the hovering dot nav image. So if it has a nav image, then we're going to go ahead and open media return. We'll do another div, which will be of flex and flex call. And inside here, another div, which will have a class name of relative with full, height full, and rounded MD. And then we're going to go ahead and import image from next image. And we'll do src links, which will be, we'll key into the hovering index, or the index that it's hovering over, dot nav image, and we'll do as string, and we'll do links again, hovering dot label. Ooh, close this off. And we'll do a fill, and we'll do class name object cover, if I spell that right, and object center, and we'll also do rounded MD, and save that. Alright, and then right below the div closing the image, so this one right here, we'll do another div, and this will be text center, pt2, and then we'll do links, hovering, with a key, and then we'll do caption. So this should just be the caption of it. So then below this, we're going to go hovering, again, does not equal null. We'll do end links, and we'll key into the hovering again, and if we'll have sublinks, which would be an optional map, because it could not exist. And we'll do we'll call this sublink, and then we'll get the index from this, and immediately return this again. And this one will just be empty fragments. Actually, we're going to do react.fragment, because so we can give it a key, which would be sublink dot header. Actually, not dot header because that's optional. We'll do we'll just do an index actually. Yeah, we'll do index, and then we're gonna do open brackets again. I didn't import React. Make sure you import React. Open brackets, sublink dot header. So if that exists, we'll do a div, which will be class name of space y2. And inside of here, another div, which would be a class name of text primary, font bold, and pb1, or padding bottom 1, sublink dot header. Inside of that, and below this closing div here, we'll do sublink dot submenu. So if that exists, we'll open this up, more bracket or more empty fragments, and then we'll do sublink here dot submenu, not subimages, submenu, and then we'll map over the submenu, and we'll call this menu item. Return this. This would be a link with a key of menu item dot label, href menu item dot href, and a class name of text muted, block text small, hover text accent, and a transition. We'll close this off, and then we'll do menu item dot label, and then I'm gonna save it so my prettier formats it, and then below. Okay, so we're gonna close off this div here, and then below this, we're gonna create below this. Hold on, make sure I have this in the right place. Div, and right below this bracket, we'll do sublink dot subimages dot map, and this would be optional. Otherwise, TypeScript will give us some complaints. So we'll do subimage. Then we're gonna immediately return a div. And inside this div, we're gonna have a key of subimage dot label. And there will be no class name on this. So we'll do link. And we'll do href here, which would be subimage dot href. Close class name, not on click, class name, relative, block, width full, height 200 pixels, rounded MD, overflow of hidden, and we'll do a group. Inside this link, we're going to have a next image, which would be source. I'm going to close this up real quick. So we'll do source, sub image, dot image. We'll do alt, sub image, dot label. I'll give a fill property, and we'll do class name. I don't know why it does that. We'll do class name, object cover, object center, rounded MD. We'll do a group hover here, which would be a scale of 105, and we'll do a transition. And then we'll also do a group hover to make the opacity 80%. Go ahead and save that. And let me go ahead and minimize this here. That was a little laggy, but it works now. Let me make this a side by side. Alright, and below this link here, we're going to open another div. Give it a class name of text center, pt2, and inside of here, sub image, dot label. And currently, it doesn't close automatically if you stop hovering it. So what I'm going to do here, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead up to our nav here, and we're going to do one mouse leave, if I can type. We'll do one mouse leave, and we'll do a function, put it up, and it'll be an if. This is why we added the ref. So if exclamation point sub ref.current. So if it doesn't exist, then we'll go ahead and set hovering to false, or to null, not false. And then down here with the ref, where the subref, or where the div is with the subref, we're going to go one mouse leave here. And it's going to be set hovering to null. So now when we hover and we leave, it'll actually close for us. And now, so now down here, we're going to go two divs below the nav, and then one div below the nav. We're going to make another div, and it's going to be a class name of flex. We'll put item center, gap x of 4, and this is where we're going to add our theme switch, or theme switcher. And then right below the theme switch, we're going to do another div. This is going to be a class name aspect square, height of 10, rounded full, overflow hidden, and then we'll do a relative here. And then inside of this div that we just created, we'll do another image, which will be a source of basically whatever you want. I just pulled a image from Pixabay and do which.jpg, which alt profile. I'll just do alt profile. We'll do fill and class name of object cover and object center. Close that up, save that, and because we created the theme switch here and made it so big, we're gonna resize this. So we're just gonna put this down to width 8, height 8. It's a little bit better. So now we can see it here. Oh, I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller, 7. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the mobile nav. So from here, first, we're gonna go ahead and import path name, just like we did before. So that comes from next navigation, and then we're gonna create a couple states here. Call this menu open and set menu open. And we're going to import useState from React, which will default to false. And then we're going to go ahead and create another one. It's going to be open menu and set open menu. It's going to be number null. I'm gonna change this already. Just gonna make this empty fragments. And then inside of here, we're gonna have a button, which is gonna say class name block or MD hidden. Inside of here, then we're gonna put the menu here. It's gonna be class name of width 8, height 8. Oops. The one click for this button is going to be set menu open. It's going to be the opposite of whatever it is. Then we're going to go put a div here. This will be the sidebar itself. We're going to import cn from here. And it's going to be flex. Its class is going to be flex. Overflow of y auto. Flex call. px6. pt12. Height of full. Min height screen. Will be fixed. Left 0. Top 0. And then z50. And it'll be bg background. So I had bd md hidden. I have a border of right, border of accent with a width of 75%. So it'll take up 75% of the screen. Have a transition all, a duration of 300, ease in out, and then comma, and I'll go down to the next line here, and we'll do menu. If the menu is open, then we'll translate x to 0. Otherwise, negative, translate x full. So inside of this div here, we're going to put another div. It's going to be flex, item center, and justify between. And then we're going to have the link here. It's going to be href to slash. And inside of this link here, make sure you import link from Nextlink too. The class name on this will be relative, item center, gap x of 3, flex, font bold, text muted, hover, text accent, text of 3XL, transition, ease in and out. Then we're going to have the logo here, and right below this link, we're going to have another button. It's going to have a class name of hover, text accent, transition, ease in and out. And then the one click for this will be arrow, set menu, false. And then we're just going to go, not fragments, we're going to go ahead and import X from Lucid React. We're going to give this a class name of width 6, height of 6. So it'll look like this now. Now, I'm going to go ahead and default menu to true, so we don't have to keep reopening it every time we save. But we'll swap that back. Alright, right below the div, below the button with one closing div left, we're going to put a new nav. We'll do class flex, flex of call, gap 4, pt12 overflow y auto, and then inside of here we're going to have the links again, which we're going to import from constants nav links, and then we're going to map. We're going to put link, and then we're going to put index here, and then we're going to immediately return that with a div, and the div is going to have a key of link.label plus index, so there's not multiple things with the same key. And then inside this div we're going to have another link. It's going to have href of link.href. Close that up, and then class name, just going to be a cn function again, and this one's going to be text muted, hover cursor pointer, rounded md, hover text accent, hover bg secondary, not foreground, just secondary, transition, ease in and out, py2, px2, flex item center, and justify between. And then we're going to put a comma down here, go to the next line, path name, and if path name is equal to link.href, then we're going to have double end sign here, and it'll be text accent, bg secondary, and font semi-bold. And then if the menu is opened, it's going to be equal to index, or if open menu is equal to index, will be a text accent again, bg secondary, and font semi-bold. I'm going to save that. And then inside this link, it's going to be link.label, and right under link.label, it'll be link.sublinks. So if those exist, then we're going to go ahead and display a button, and the button will be in one click, which will take an E for event, and it'll be handle click, which we're going to create that function in just 1 second, which will take in the index and the E, or the event, sorry. And then we're going to import chevron down, and it's going to be a class name again, dynamic. So we'll use the cn function, width of 5, height 5, transition all, cursor pointer, and then comma will go down. If the menu is opened, or if menu is equal to index, we'll rotate 180, otherwise it'll be normal. And we're going to go ahead and create this handle click function real quick. So right below these states here, we're going to call it function handle click, and it's going to take in the index, which is going to be a number, and the E, which is a mouse event, and then we're going to e.prevent default, so it doesn't navigate to the link if you hit the chevron down on the menu like this. We just want it to open. So we'll go ahead and do that. So set open menu. Oops. Set open menu, and open menu if it's equal to the index. No, then it'll be null, otherwise it'll be the index. Spelled that wrong. Alright. And then if we do navigate, we want it to close. So we're going to add a use effect here, so import that from React. Add an empty dependency array. And then we'll set menu open to false. Well, we're going to actually add path name to the dependency array, so if we navigate to say here, it'll close it. We don't have this this path yet. So from here, we're going to go back down here, and right below this link, we're going to do if open menu is equal to index, Then we're gonna turn a div with a PL, a padding left of 2, and inside of here it'll be links or link dot sublinks, which is gonna be an optional chaining in case it's not there. That'll be sublink index. Actually, we're gonna do IDX for here, and then we're gonna immediately return a React fragment. So import React, and we'll do fragment here, which will have a key of IDX. And then from here, we'll have sublink dot header. So if the header exists, then we'll return a div with space y of 2. And inside of this div, we'll have another div, which will have a class name of text primary, font bold, mt1, and text small, text sm, and it'll be sublink dot header. And right below this div, we'll have another angled brackets. We'll do sublink dot submenu. So if that exists, then we'll have more fragments here, and inside of these fragments, let me scroll down here. So inside of these fragments, we're going to do sublink dot submenu, not subimages, submenu dot map. And this will be sub item, and we'll immediately return a link, which will be an href menu item, or what do they call this? Sub item. So it'll be sub item dot href. The key will be sub item dot label. I'm going to close this up, and we'll do sub item dot label. And then inside this link, we're going to have a class name of text muted, block, text extra small, hover, text accent, transition, and PL of 4. So below this link and these fragments, and right below this div, after this closing, right above the React fragment actually, sorry, we'll do sublink dot subimages, which is optional, because again, it could not exist, subimage, and then we're going to immediately return a link with a key of subimage dot label, and an href of subimage dot href, and we're going to close off this link. And then inside of this, we'll do subimage dot label, because we're not actually going to show the images on the mobile menu. Let's go ahead and open this. And that's pretty much it for the mobile side. Yeah, there's some error in here. Trying to find where that's at. Why is this saying there's an error? Oh, make sure you import mouse event from React. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to go back to the normal page, and we're going to remove all this and just add the image that we have here, and add a little bit of padding so we can scroll and see the shadow. And then we'll go and clean up the navbar. And I think I forgot to add some styling to the original navbar. So let me actually do that first. Okay, so yeah, we'll start at the top here. Let me find what this link is. There it is. So on the links.mat, we're going to go ahead and add another style here, which is going to be, where is it at? There. So if hovering is equal to index, then we're going to go ahead and have text accent, font semi-bold, and BG as secondary. And now on the chevron, we're going to do the same thing as like we did on the mobile. We're going to do hovering is equal to index, and it'll be rotate 180, otherwise it'll be normal. And then one more style for the subref here. We're going to go ahead and, or the div with the subref here. We're going to go ahead and add if hovering or hovering is equal to 0. So if it's on the first index, then it'll be opacity 100, border top, border bottom, and border accent. Otherwise, it'll be opacity 0 and border none. So resize this so you can see. So now when you hover it, displays. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the home page here, which is, let me close some of these files. So you're gonna Control W to close out everything and clean this up. So we're gonna go to this page here, and I'm just gonna erase all of this, make a new div. That'll be class name. We'll do height full, width full, flex, flex call, item center, justify center, gap Y of 6, and then I'm gonna add a padding bottom of 96. And then inside this, we're gonna have another div, grid calls 1. On medium, we're gonna go grid calls 2. And then we're gonna do gap x4. And then inside that, we're gonna do another div. It's gonna be class flex call, item center, justify center, BG of background, transparent, P20, MT of 48, order last, and MD order first, order 1. We're doing this just so let me add text wrap here. We're doing this so that it reverse whenever we're on mobile, it'll show the picture first. So we'll go inside here, we'll do an H2. Inside the H2, we'll do font bold, text accent, text for Excel, and I'm just gonna call this home page. Below this H2, we're gonna do a paragraph. This will be class name of text muted, and then just put any text here really. This is multi-theme demo website using Nextjs, Tailwind, and Next themes. Save this. Oh, looks like that. And then below this, we're gonna do another div. Do class name, flex wrap, item center, justify center, gap 3, PT4. We haven't created a reusable button component. I might do a video on that, but for now, we're just gonna put a button here. Subscribe. We'll do class BG accent, border accent, hover, BG secondary. py to px of 4, rounded MD. Nothing crazy. Transition. Alright, so below this div here, we're gonna go ahead and add another div. We're gonna call it class relative with a full height 80vh. Inside here, we're gonna have an image from next image. src is gonna be snowboarder.png alt snowboarder hero. We'll do a fill, class name, object contain, and object center. Save this, and I did not put this in the right place. I believe I need to take this down one div. Yes. And this should be py96, not p8. But okay. Full screen this. Actually, I don't think this padding actually does anything. Yeah, it doesn't. None. This part isn't important at all. I just wanted to do it for demonstration purposes. But okay. Before I move on to cleaning up the nav, I'm gonna go ahead and create a new folder, and we'll call this mens, and do page.tsx, rface, mens page, export that, and then this should be a simple return div class name height full with full flex item center, justify center. Then inside here, we'll just have an h2 that says mens page class font bold text accent text for Excel. So now if you go to the mens page, this should actually, alright, there's something wrong with the nav links. Okay, I forgot to add a slash to the beginning of all these. So if you didn't do that, go ahead and do that. Close this up. I did for that one, okay. Anyways, it's the same thing. Women's, copy and paste this, create a new page, page.tsx. Oops. That'll be the same thing. So now when it's on the path name, it'll highlight it. But we're gonna go back and we're gonna go ahead and clean up the nav bar here. Okay. So close this, close this. Let's find the nav bar here. Alright. So what I usually do, and you can see when you scroll now, you have the shadow applying. But okay, so what I usually do when I'm cleaning up my components, I will copy and paste the whole thing, and I'll just duplicate it. So I'll call this old nav.tsx. Go ahead and put this here, save that, and then Now we're going to start with this. And we'll have the old nav in case we need the reference or if we mess up anything, so it's not gone. Alright, so first, we're going to go ahead and create a nav link component. So inside the header, create a new component, call it nav link.tsx. And in here, it's going to be a use client. And we're going to RFC this. We're going to create type nav link props, which is equal to link, which is going to be type links, which we're going to import from constants. That's why we exported it at the start. We're going to do hovering, which is going to be number or null, and index is going to be number. And then we're also going to pass down the function of handle mouse enter, which is going to be index number or void. And then right here, we're just going to put this type navlink props and import everything here. Save this. All right. We're also going to go ahead and import path name again. And we're going to be able to remove that from the original navbar. But for now, just import that. And we're going to return a div. And this div is going to have a link inside, so we're going to import that. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy and paste. So right here, this is going to become the navlink component now. So I'm going to take that, return that, import link from next link, import the cn function, import the chevron down, take this, and now this is just going to be navlink, import that, and then we're going to pass in the props. So link is going to get the link, index is going to be the index, hovering is going to be hovering, and handle mouse enter. It's going to be handle mouse enter. Don't need that, just handle mouse enter. And this is giving an error because we don't have a key on this. So for the key, we're just going to do link.label plus index. All right. So pretty much everything should be the same. Everything still works. Hard refresh it. All right, everything still works. Now, pretty much don't need navlink anymore. I believe we're actually done with that. Double check. Yeah. So we can go ahead and close out of that. Now, for the next part, we're going to go ahead and go right below this div with the subref attached to it. And we're going to keep this div, but we're going to take all of this, take all of this right below the grid. We're going to cut that. We're going to create a new component, and we're going to call it menu image.tsx. And this is going to be, we're going to RFC. We're going to make empty fragments here, get rid of this. And inside of here, we're going to take this. We're going to import links from our constants so we can still key into it. And the only prop we're going to pass in here is going to be hovering. So I'm just going to make it inline. So hovering, which would be number or null. We're going to import next image, not from Lucid React, from next image. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. So in here, we're just going to do nav image, or what do they call this? Menu image. And we're going to pass hovering in here. Same way as we did before. And then from here, we're just going to take, actually we're going to keep this part, because we're still going to map over it. But we're just going to create a sublink. So everything from this fragment down, I believe from fragment down, yeah. We're going to cut that. We're going to make a new component. And we're going to call this sublink.tsx. I'm not the best at naming things, so as you can probably tell. So we're going to RFC this. And then we'll make empty fragments again here. Paste all this. And now now what we're going to go ahead and pass down is we're going to pass the sublink, and we're going to pass the index. Inside of here, it's going to be as sublink, which is going to be as sublinks. Import that from constants navlink. And then we're also going to take the index, which is going to be a number. Import next image from next image. Import link from next link. And then inside the navbar here, we're going to go ahead and pass in the sublink. And we're going to pass the index, and we're going to pass the sublink, which will be sublink. And we're going to put a key on this. Which will be, we're just going to do index for this. And it's not completely clean, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. We're going to go ahead and remove some of these imports. Get rid of the path name because we're not using that anymore. And then I'm just going to hit Alt, Shift, and O to remove all imports that we're not using. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. There's the nav. For the next part, what I'm going to do is probably break down the theme switcher into a reusable drop-down menu. So instead of looking all messy like this, we're actually going to use context and compound React components to create a reusable drop-down that could be used anywhere. And it will look, I'll give an example of what it would look like, sort of. I'll take, so if I were to create a new file, call it theme switch, just so it's not overlapping with the other one. Let me RFC this. Okay. So it would look more like this. We'd have like the drop-down provider here. And then we'd have the trigger, which would cause, you know, the opening of the file. And then we'll add an animation to it. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. I have more videos coming this week. Have a good day.